go. So there you go. So hey, hi, welcome to Tequila and Tea Talks. Tequila and Tea Talks is a fly. She's trying to enter. I'm here. Tequila and Tea Talks is a fly on the wall perspective of two psychic and intuitive. I don't know. I can't say the word psychic, intuitive human beings having a conversation when no one else is looking and listening, right? Looking. It's like I've already been into the tequila. I'd like to blame it, Jennifer, that I have walking pneumonia right now, but I can't. Hey, your voice just went away again. I can't hear you.
I know. I don't know what happened.
That's okay. It's because that's Jesus. That's just Jesus walking in on us and messing with our stuff. So I'm going to pour myself a little bit of tequila before the doctor tells me I have to have antibiotics and just, takes it all away from me. And of course, I'm just drinking it in ice water. So now, okay.
I would totally do tequila, but I had such a long day. I still want a beer right now, actually, because it's warm here.
I bet.
But I have an early morning and like just a jam-packed day tomorrow. So I'm trying to be responsible. So I just made myself like an Amaro and soda with some bitters and lemon.
What's Amaro?
It's an Italian aperitif.
Oh, that sounds good to me. I should get into aperitifs. Now, before we just get all jibber jabbering, I really want to introduce you.
Okay.
To myself, really. So Michelle, this is Jennifer Michelle. This is a whole other Jennifer. The Jennifer I know is a cat lover who lives in the Topanga Valley, who has this whole background of dance and actressing that I don't even I'm aware of. I just have this idea. But to me, you're this beautiful, intelligent, deeply penetrating, feeling the world, animal loving, sensitive, in tune human being. And then
I write my new dating profile.
Yeah, okay, sure, I will. Absolutely. That could be my other sidekick. Now going through your profile, your bio, your list of I ams, it took a while, and I actually found myself going to the things and clicking on the things and clapping my hands and cheering for you and laughing when you were on those little roller balls and people are holding you up. And it's you really have this really engaging way about you. Like I wanted to see more and more and more and more. Like honestly, integrally, I wanted to see more. Like I was finding myself really excited to watch this full spirited young woman living her life to the fullest on the other side of the camera, but not even like on the other side of the camera. It's like you're in your fullest self. It's really cool.
Yeah, tell casting directors that. Tell again, you should like rate my. Yeah, it's good.
Their world does need to see more of you, because the joy that you bring to the game, I think, is kind of missing right now, because you bring an authentic joy where a lot of people that get out of here, mosquito. A lot of the people that you see out, sir, that on television, they have a joy, but not this authentic joy. And when you're behind the camera, you elude this authentic joy. And I think it has a lot to do also with what you do in your personal life to ground and balance yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, more and more, no matter what I do, no matter what job I'm doing, whether it's teaching or being in front of the camera or gardening, it's all from connection to source, God. It flows from there for me. So and I haven't always been in that space. That's really after the lockdowns.
Wow.
So I really feel I've never felt more empowered. I've never felt more connected. I've never felt more alive. I've never felt more joyful. And that's not to say every day is rainbows and unicorns, but it's not as intense.
Yeah.
Those emotions aren't as like, they don't overtake my life as much as they used to.
Thank God, hey, because I can resonate with that as well. I know the walk, right? I know the walk to get where you're at, and that mentally, emotionally, physical, spiritually thing, to just be able to walk.
Yeah.
Like walk every day through life and be like, all right. So I also don't want anyone that's listening to miss out on some of the things that you've done as well, because you and I can, we know you and I, we can talk for hours. We've done it, right?
Yeah.
So you've been a freelance or are freelance producer, host and consultant. You're a choreographer and you've been a choreographer for some pretty big names, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, fun. That's fun. It's always,
Totally fun.
people are cool no matter who they are. And what I dig is people that reach out for their dreams, no matter in what retrospect, of living in a yurt or, you know,
Yeah.
living in Dubai, like the people that just live their dreams. I dig that. So you're working with people that are living their dreams, right?
Yeah.
On a
Yeah.
screen every day. So now just a little side note, if you start to see my glasses slide down my face, it's because when I was washing them earlier, the thing fell out of
Oh, the
part.
pad.
So I figured that I would just take a little bit of that carpet, you know, that floor saver stuff, and as we're talking, I just would stick it up in here on my face.
It's hot.
There you go.
Very
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
otherwise, if it starts sliding, I'll reply. So you've been a host and a talent, host and talent for fitness companies like Nike, Shake Weight, Gold Gym, Body Blade, Microsoft.
Mhm.
And I liked how one of the guys on camera said that you're a talent and fitness expert. I love that. I was like, I kind of grabbed onto that. I'm like, that was really cool. And he just, the way that he said it was mm, mm, like this, like concrete, right? And we
Mm.
are so many things. We're so
Mhm.
many things as women, and so many things as intuitives, and so many things as human beings in this world. You also are a freelance writer for health and wellness industry in different magazines,
Mhm.
Self Magazine being one of them. Lead trainer producer for the Pilates Pro Chair, sales and marketing director for No Foods, KNOW.
Mind you, these are like
Yeah,
paths
you
too. I'm
don't
not
have
doing
10 jobs.
all of this at once.
I got 10 jobs, 10 jobs. No. Yeah.
Yeah, I've bounced around a bit.
Yes. So it's have been, but is there ever we kind of in life have a have been, but we kind of just are. So it's tricky.
Yeah,
I'm
a
like,
lot of my jobs have just been where I was in the moment, and I just took the Enneagram test. Have you taken the Enneagram?
I don't know. I've taken
It's one of those personality things like NTFJ, one of
Yeah.
those. That's not the same one. Enneagrams go by numbers 1 through 9.
Oh, okay.
And I'm a 7, which is an individualist.
Okay.
So if I work for a company, and this is why so many of my jobs working at traditional corporations haven't worked, it's because they have to give me creativity. I have to be challenged all the time. I have to feel like I'm contributing to something.
Yeah.
And honestly, most corporations that you work for is blah, 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 bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Let's have a meeting about a meeting about a meeting. I go, what's the point of this?
Yeah.
Like, I like to strike out on my own. And if I don't have that creative freedom in a job and I'm limited by some arbitrary rules,
Ooh, yeah.
right,
Yeah.
that don't serve me or the position or help me move forward or help me succeed, I'm like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, it's a little crazy making, right?
Yeah. So consequently, I have had quite a few like jobs, but most of my life I've been an entrepreneur, individualist, performer. I mean, that kind of work is very suited to me, acting in front of the camera, because it's something different all the time.
Yeah.
Even if it's fitness, it's a different routine, or I'm working with a different producer, or, then I go to writing, or.
Yes. So
Yeah.
you need the full meal deal. You need all of those different aspects because that's who you are. You're
If I'm allowed to express myself in a variety of ways.
Yeah, that's really good. I can really relate to that. And that's why I have so many irons in the fire. And anytime I ever have a reading done with people, they're like, oh, you have way too many things going on. And I'm like, but if I don't, I hear it in my head over and over. I hear it until I do it. And if I don't listen, if I don't do it, it doesn't stop. So I have to at least get into it and do it. And I'm learning that at 54 years old, like you were saying, it's where you were at in your life at that time. I've learned to just show up for whatever is coming in, right?
Yep.
And that's how pretty much how I met you. Like years ago, somebody phoned me up, one of my clients when I had the dog training company, and said, oh my God, I'm dying, I can't breathe, do you do grief work? And I said, because you ask, I must. And of course, I have a ton of education, the list of I ams as well. Big list, lots of education, lots of studies to be authentic in this work that I do. So I said, yeah, yes, I do. I must. So they showed up and I did this whole reading with their dog and connecting and touching base with all the stuff. And I was like, my whole soul lit on fire. Like here, these people come in and they're in their most ultimate form of pain and they leave and we're all like clapping and cheering and like happy for this experience that we're all just learning about together because their dog shared it with us. Right. And it's all tangible and all relatable. So it was, this is about showing up. So where are you showing up right now? Like what's going on? I knew you have some stuff.
Yeah, I've been in limbo, like for many people, locking down the country affected me. It's what I needed. I'm so grateful for the year. As you know, Zusi left.
Yeah.
But that was the
With
catalyst.
with this little stick and a bag on it.
Yeah, he just walked out pretty much, took his suitcase and said, I'm off to heal someone else, mama. You
Yeah,
did
my
your job.
contract is complete at this point. If it really is complete, but at this point, yeah.
Yeah. So that did throw me into quite a state of grief, and but it was work that needed to be done. And I did a coaching program during that time, and I've always said to myself, I never wanted to be the victim.
Cool.
But I think deep down, I felt like one. I just kind of covered it up, right? And said I didn't want to be, but I never really went through the emotions, the grief and the anger that allow you to get out of that victimhood.
Okay.
So 2020 really gave me the space to, and I was, very lucky to have that. I know many people had still like Zoom jobs they had to take care of and kids, and I lived by myself. And so I had that luxury of the only responsibility I really had was to myself. And so I went through that and just, another little mini dark night of the soul, and came out on the other side and really like every day just gets better. Like you right now, as far as professionally and work wise, just showing up every day and seeing what comes. I'm teaching again. I'm back to teaching live, which is great. I am.
What's the website for that? You're teaching live. You're teaching yoga live. What kind of yoga and what's the website for that?
Oh, well, not online, like in person.
Oh, in real person. Oh,
yeah.
Well, too bad for all the other people that don't get to see you. Maybe you could.
Yeah, I do have some streaming classes. I when I was teaching online for a while, I recorded a lot of my Pilates fusion classes, and those are on Vimeo. I can send you the link to that.
Okay.
So it's like an on-demand, you just stream it anytime you want.
Oh, and well, you have your YouTube channel, right? YouTube.com.
Yeah, but that's not the classes.
That's not the class.
That's different than the classes. Yeah. So my classes are on Vimeo.
Vimeo. I haven't even heard of that.
Okay. Yeah, it's another video platform. That's all like my paid for content.
Okay, cool.
So I'll send you the link to that. But so yeah, I'm back to teaching at Equinox, and I've been helping this guy from the canyon. Like he designs the most beautiful gardens for people.
Oh, wow.
And I connected with him, and I've been planting and harvesting and making food for his clients. And
wow,
I love it. It's really shifted my perspective it's given me clarity on what I want, where I want to be. I'm thinking of moving to Utah. Like,
I love that for you. I love that for you.
I love getting my hands in the dirt. I love manual labor. I really do.
Okay. And is this something that you've learned about yourself or just
been
reminded of? Okay.
I mean, I know I'm a doer, right? I like to see the fruits of my efforts. Like I love writing, but it's tedious for me for sure.
Do you just get into it in your head, or are you able to flow?
The thing with writing is if you're going to do it for a job, it doesn't matter if you're in flow or not. You got to sit down in front of the computer.
Yeah.
However, I tend to only sit down when I have the time, or I'm in flow, or I have an idea. So I wrote a book. That's pretty much done, but it's taken me years.
Oh, what's the title? What's the title?
The title was called Done, but
wow.
Instead, I'm calling it Connection.
Okay.
Because it's a memoir. And what I realized is that I actually had another breakthrough a little bit in meditation today about what disconnected me essentially in childhood.
Mm-hmm.
But my whole life's been a seeking of trying to find that connection, a seeking for that connection again.
Mm-hmm.
And it started out with like athletics, right? And dance, and played tennis. And I was looking to be successful and validated and recognized through that. And then, it was drinking, and I was just always going outside of myself. And then it was fitness, and then it was nutrition. And so I thought, oh, this is all healthy, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
healthy. Everyone's like, you're so healthy.
Yeah.
Like, I was far from healthy.
I hear
And then it was yoga, and then it was meditation, and constantly tantra and learning. And I have to fix myself. I have to, what's constantly looking outside of myself, to teachers. Then it was ayahuasca. And then, and then 2020, everything stopped,
Mm-hmm.
and there was nowhere else to go but here.
Ooh.
Nowhere else to go. And I was forced to connect here and understand my true power and understand this true power.
So did you have a lot of epiphanies? Was it like aha moments, or were you?
No, mine have always come in like, I didn't have like this big Kundalini awakening. I mean, I don't think so, but a Kundalini awakening should be, if you're being guided, it shouldn't be some destabilizing, debilitating experience where you can't control your energy, right? It is a gradual, oh,
Yeah, I like
like, every day, like this morning, I was like, oh, right. Okay. Like, it just constant. And just when you think it's like, it's never ending, because you're always expanding and you're always desiring bigger than where you are.
Yeah. And different, bigger and different.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it's just like, I did a reading the other day with a girl, and I saw her. It's the first time I've ever seen this. I normally see doors for people, but and it's called, what did I call it? It was like she was shifting landscapes. Like, I literally was taking her, she was walking through these landscapes, and she could just take her hand and move the landscape and be in a beach, and take it and move it and be with walking in the forest with a grizzly bear and a couple of deers. Like, it was one of the most, I can't say it was one of the most profound things, because I've done a lot of meditations where I'm like, oh, that's the most amazing thing in the whole entire world, because it comes through the animal, and it comes through that place where you're just in it, and you're listening, and you're paying attention. So I'm seeing that when we open these doors for ourselves, no matter what it looks like or how it is, it just makes room for more things to come in.
Yeah.
And I reminded her as well. I said, remember, when this starts opening up for you, and this might be for you as well, but it sounds like you're in a really nice soft place where it's just coming in a nice normal way. If it starts to get too loud, or too many voices, or too pushy, or too many things coming at once, you can literally say, okay, whoa, slow it down a bit, guys. Like, whoa, for my highest good and greatest joy, yes, please. Or for the safety and concern of other people's, yes, please. But other than that, just slow it down a bit. It's like our guides are so excited that we've opened the doors, and we're paying attention, and we're really working in this kind of synchronicity and symbiotic relationship with them, that they just start to flood us with stuff.
That's interesting you say that, because I'm in the opposite, and my friend is really talking to me every day about patience and and knowing and trusting that all that is there, but all in divine time. And I'm really finally just letting go of results.
Cool.
And just trying to enjoy every day as it comes.
That's so important. And it's the secret, and we make it seem so big and so spiritual, and really it's just living life every single day, and just being chill about it, and noticing the magic that comes in, and having gratitude for it, and being like, okay, thanks, that was cool, man. Like, I'd like some more of that. And then noticing the more of that when it comes in. And
that's the thing, is noticing that it's recognizing what it is, recognizing it for what it is, which is magic. And then the gratitude for it. It's law of attraction, because then it'll just, it's there. You just have to allow it. That's where I am now. I'm like, oh, right. I've through 45 years of what I do want, what I don't want. No, I want this guy. No, I don't want that guy. But this guy was, yeah, I want this from him. And that someone's listening and knows exactly what you want and what you need
Mm-hmm.
to get you what you want.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to get there, just get out of the way. Get
Yes.
out of the way.
Yep.
It's hard. That trust and that faith doesn't come, it doesn't come easy. Like you said, it is very simple. It's so simple. It is so, so simple, but it's not easy.
Well,
I don't think.
it's looked
That
at in,
trust.
like, I mean, my husband's the CEO of a company, so that's who we kind of roll with a lot. And then I have all my friends that are on this stream of things. So
Right.
there's those two thought forms, right? There's the work, 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 make millions, millions, go, 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 go,
Yeah.
go. Don't ever stop, like work all day, every day, which I've practiced and burnt out my adrenal system and create a bunch of migraines because the body's like, you need to stop it, lady. And I just, you push through, how the
Yep.
body works. And then this is looked at the way that we're seeing things as hippy dippy. But now over the years, like these rich big wig people and these really successful people have also said that whole, work less, make more. Like live,
Yeah.
live,
Yeah.
rather than work, work,
Can't
work.
take it with you. I mean, you hear all these, platitudes and cliches, and unfortunately, until you actually live by them, that's all they are, platitudes and cliches.
Oh, I love
You know,
that.
they're just words until you actually have the experience of them.
Yes.
Words, and that's for me, words never teach. Like I can read a book and it's helpful, but it's if I don't integrate it into my experience, it's just words.
I gotta write that one down. Right. Into experience.
Words are
Really
just
true.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's really true. And a lot of times too, things have, like you were saying, that divine timing, like we can hear things over and over and over and over again, but it has to be the right time to be able to hear it
Mhm.
and to be able to go, oh, okay, all right, and walk the walk.
Yep.
So you must, I mean, you tell me what you're feeling right now, but you must be in like, are you able to look in at yourself like third person? Do you do that at all? And be like, good for you. Good for you that you have, like, you've had a really colorful, quite a few chapters in your life, right?
Yeah.
Let's say, are you in chapter 4 right now or chapter 3? Like with these big chapters of experience, we have the
10.
I know. I always say I'm a 72-year-old man.
Oh my God. That self-talk
Yeah.
has really, it has shifted, and you don't realize it's everything. How you talk to yourself is everything.
Mm.
I recently, this year, in the beginning of the year, I applied to get my master's at Pepperdine in public policy because that was my undergrad degree. I was a political science and econ major. I know,
You got
crazy.
a lot of segments of your brain in action at all times. It's like all of it wants to try something at some point in your life.
Correct. And I never know what the right, that's where I have to turn it over. I'm like, okay, whatever God you want, whatever work you would want me to do in this world, what, as you say, the highest good, what do you say? The greatest joy and highest
Greatest
good.
joy. Yeah. Might as well.
Then I'm here.
Yep.
I got a lot of I know the talents you've given me. I know what I'm good at. I know where my weaknesses are, or where, I could use improving. And I know just flat out what's not my wheelhouse. I will not be an accountant. I'm pretty sure of that. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with admitting that. However, there was a part of me that wanted to be a lawyer. I love debate. I love intelligent debate.
Yes.
If you are going to debate, you better come prepared with some facts. So anyways, I applied to grad school. I didn't get in, and I was like, even the dean thought I was going to get in. He was surprised when I didn't. And I really had to, I was teary for a day or two because I really thought, oh my God, I was getting really jazzed. The application got me jazzed. I was just, the feeling was a good feeling. It wasn't drudgery at all. So I thought like, oh, I finally get to channel all of this in this particular direction. And I didn't get in, and I don't think I did this purposely, but I was cleaning up the space down here where you stayed, where my office is.
Mhm.
And I found well, I had to get my transcript from college in order to apply. So I looked over that. I found my acceptance letter to college. I found like photos from one of my first magazine shoots. I found my first
Wow.
headshot. And I was like, girl, you done okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's just
Yes.
not, this is just not the thing, you know?
Mhm.
You done good. Like you done good.
That's
You've traveled
very
everywhere.
good.
Look at your accomplishments, look at the successes, look at what you have accomplished instead of looking at what you're not getting right now in this moment. And
Yes.
I think that moment I realized like I can choose to focus on what didn't come true, what dreams, desires didn't come true, or I can choose to focus on all the successes I've had, or
Yes.
and the joy. And in my, what's interesting is in my Enneagram, there were lines of like my type description, my personality type description that are basically the conclusion of my book. Like the whole,
Oh.
so type 7 or type, what am I, 4? When I'm out of balance or when I'm not integrated or I'm not moving in a positive direction, I tend to play victim and I tend to not be able to see the good. I tend to focus on, like, I want to be seen as unique and special, right? That my story is unique and special. And therefore, like, I don't think anybody else is going through what I'm going through. You know, nobody else understands me. I feel alone in the world. Like, this is all out of a place of disintegration, right? Not
Yes.
integration
Yes. 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 Yes.
and
Yes. Yes.
healthy. Um, and one of the last chapters or somewhere in my book, I write this line. I'm like, I only wish I spent so much time wasted on my life about focusing on what I needed to fix about myself, what was wrong with me. When in truth, I had so many of these amazing experiences that I didn't fully enjoy in the moment.
Oh, I hear you. I can relate to that. I'm walking right beside you as your shadow. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I was like, oh my God, I've had an amazing
Hear you.
freaking life and I've missed half of it.
Yeah.
And that feeling, I was like, I never want that to happen again.
It's
I want
really
to know that
unfortunate.
every moment I'm in is the right one, is even if I'm not like happy, happy, joy, joy, because we don't go through, that's not life.
No. No, no,
But
no.
to know that it's like one day you're going to miss this. And again, there's the words of saying that, like I probably said that back then too, like one day you're going to miss this, one day you're going to wish, you know, but to actually feel that in the moment, to be so present, you're like, and acknowledge it, you said acknowledge that the goodness coming in, acknowledge the
Yeah.
magic and being so grateful for it.
Yeah, it's a really, really, really cool way to live. And I find what I noticed when I first started practicing that like 100 years ago, because everything, all time is just a blur, right? What I noticed was things got really, at first, I felt boring because there's no drama and there's no crap, and you're
Mhm.
not in this cycle of personal self-abuse or for me depression, suicidal thoughts, like just
Mhm.
yeah, just anger and for us pointing fingers at everybody else. That's where I would go in those moments, right?
Yeah.
How you were expressing that. And it's just now I've learned that it's just so much easier to let go of the drama and all of the stuff, and to just be in this flow every single day of whatever shows up, and trust, like you're saying, I'm 40, you're 45, right?
47.
47.
I
You're
nixed the 2 years. It was just easier to round down, you
45.
know?
Yeah. And so I'm 54. And in this point now where everything is just sort of funny. Like even when I phoned the
Yeah.
doctor today and I was like,
Yep.
okay, I've had this bronchial thing for a long time. And yeah, I went for COVID testing just to rule it out. And I don't know. He's like, oh, I think it sounds like you have walking pneumonia. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I said, I don't. And when I got off the phone, I was like, wow, I really, I must have sounded like I was really demeaning how I was feeling. And this is what often, if I go to the doctor for something, I do that because it's so irrelevant. The suffering part is so irrelevant. I've learned because the rest of my life I'm living in that moment to moment place where you were expressing and sharing, where you get to just be like, just living, literally just living your life and getting the hell out of your own way. And noticing if you start to pick on yourself or
Yeah.
start to slide down that little yucky little rabbit hole, you're like, oh, okay, all right, here I go. But I'm gonna turn around and I'm just gonna come back up again.
Here I go. Whee! I see like a little cartoon character. If I'm gonna do it, I'm going full
Oh
in.
yeah. And I really will be like, okay, so this would be like 4 days, 7 days, maximum, 3 weeks of just yuck. But then I'm just gonna be back up again. Like you get to a point where you know yourself, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I laugh because when you said pneumonia, so was it Friday? God, it feels like a month ago. So Friday, I had a rather busy day and my girlfriend kind of cruised through the canyon. I was like, oh, I'll meet you down. I'm going on a hike, but I'll come down and meet you really quick. So everything was pretty rushed and I parked in the center in Topanga. And there's these really low walls and I never park in this particular area.
Or no.
Yeah, you see what's coming. And I was rushing out to get to a hike with my girlfriend and I'm backing up really slow. And my car is one of those cars that has cameras in the back. And if it beep, 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 like a fly goes by my side mirror and lights go off. Like it warns you of everything. No warning, no beep, no flashing light, crunch. And just, it was one of those really low walls.
Yep.
And that, my car's not that high. It's not a sports car, but it's not like an SUV either. And it just ripped the back bumper off.
Oh.
And I'm like the plastic undercarriage, I just threw that in the car. And then the flap of like the rear bumper, I knocked it back in, but it was still, and I'm going down to Topanga Canyon Boulevard. It's like, and I'm like, I got to get to my hike. Like what, it's just laughing. And I was stopped at the stoplight. It was Friday. So there was crazy traffic at the stoplight by the beach. And I was stopped and I got out of the car, like in the middle of traffic. And I just pounded that thing back in. And the guy behind me is like, nice work. And then I went on my merry way. And then it opened up back again. And my girlfriend's husband finally like nailed it. And I was laughing. Well, I was like, yeah, well,
and everything makes, I look at it makes such a good story. Today, I literally had no gas in my truck and I just kept looking at it. I'm like, I wonder when I'm going to get to a gas station. And I don't have my phone with me and my truck lately is not starting. And so what I do is I literally wait to see when I'm going to do something about anything. Like I'm always like, I wonder when I'm going to get some gas. I wonder when I'm going to call my buddy to take a look at my truck. And then, I literally am thanking my truck for, starting every time it starts. Right. And I think today I'm like, okay, it's super hot. I'm doing these things. I'm running my errands. If the truck doesn't start, I don't have a phone. But what does it lead to? It leads to you having a conversation with somebody and be like, hey, can I borrow your phone for a second? I'm phoning your husband. He has to come from work and you're laughing and he's miserable.
Oh, wait, I have a question though. How in the hell do you memorize? I don't know anybody's phone number anymore.
I would phone my own.
I know. You would what?
I would phone my husband. Yeah.
I don't know anybody's phone number.
I don't know anyone's phone. I know my mom.
I know my dad's. The only reason I know my father's is because the same house I grew up in.
Oh, hey, that's handy.
I know my 5869388, I think was Bridget's. Like I know my friends' family childhood homes. That's the person. 5870323 was Amy's. Like they don't even live there anymore.
That's hilarious. Well, yeah, well. We might be in the same home for Alzheimer's, you and I. So
anyways, I'm sorry to interrupt your story, but I just thought like without your cell phone, I don't know anybody's number.
Well, yeah, and the thing is there would be an adventure. Like maybe that person would drive me home. Or maybe I would run into one of my friends, when you're like, hey, Susan, perfect. Can you drive me home? And then you show up at home without the car. And, it's just, to me, every single thing that you would think about being horrible is just not horrible at a certain point in your life.
Yeah.
It's just a funny little story.
Yeah.
Because
Unless you start hitchhiking and then there's a serial. I mean, you have to use some
What?
level of, but here's the thing, when you're in that good feeling place, you're not going to attract a serial killer.
Not at all. Or he won't
You're
kill
usually
you.
going to,
He's not going to kill you. You're going to have a bond, and you're going to see him on TV in the news at some point and be like, I got a ride from that guy and he didn't kill me and eat me. Like,
yeah.
That's
You're like, he used to be a serial killer, then he met me.
And I just, in our 15-minute conversation, I changed his whole perspective in life about things.
Don't sell yourself short. You could.
And this is the thing. There's just, when you're in, when you're in this, running this way in life or working this way in life where you trust, and when you know the opposite, like, dark, I know all kinds of addiction, all kinds of disorders, all kinds of imbalance, all mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and I know how this works so effectively, and yet we're still completely human, and we'll still have the ups and downs, the ins and out, the swears, the double middle fingers, the laughing about how cranky you can get. Everything is just different when you're on the other side of that dark shit.
Yeah.
Right? When you've dug yourself through it and really like you were saying, connected, asked for guidance, be aware, everything's different, even in the discomfort.
Well, and the thing is when you've gone through it, like you have, or I have, mine was the same: depression, suicidal thoughts, suicide attempts, that kind of stuff.
Working out 5 hours a day.
Oh yeah, working out 5 hours a day. That was a good one. Not really eating.
Enough.
Yeah. But you're like, oh, it can't get much worse.
Yeah.
Like, really, I've been here. That's why, I mean, quarantine, I don't think the lockdowns would have been as challenging had Zusi not disappeared. That was really a new level for me of that kind of loss. But had it just been the lockdowns, I mean, it was starting to get to me, but I have tools. You have tools now.
Yes.
Like, all those other moments gave you tools.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean there's no more dark moments and there's no more hard moments, but you're like, oh yeah, I can get through this. I've been here before, and I've got this. I've got me, I've got God, I've got whatever you want to call it.
Yep. Whomever. My sister calls it grandma. I call it I have all kinds of people that I talk to all day long. Whenever any religious people come to my house and knock on the door, I'm like, oh, no. I am set up. I'm good. I'm talking to God all day long, man. Like, look at my life. I'm talking to God all day long. Like, I'm good. I've followed the guidance, because not following it hurt like hell.
Yeah. Yes. That's what
hurt like hell.
My teacher has a quote. I don't know if it's from him or so he took it from somebody else, but it's, we only change when it becomes too painful not to.
Yes.
So when staying in the same is just like, change is tough and it's painful, but there is nothing that can be more painful than staying where I am. That's when, and then we become to the point where it doesn't take that anymore, because we're not afraid of the change. We're like, oh yeah, I've been here before. But usually for the first big transformations, leveling ups, whatever you want to call it, it takes some serious pain.
It does. Yeah.
And you go, I'll try anything. Yeah. I'll try voodoo. That's what I'll do anything. I'll try nutrition. I was in so much pain that I was trying to run it off, eat it off.
Yes.
Ayahuasca it away,
detox,
meditate it off.
Yeah. Colonics it off. Yeah. Colonics it off.
Oh my God, I forgot about my colonic phase.
I'm on now.
Oh, that was a good 2 years of water up the butt. A lot of it.
It was one of the best things I ever did for myself. One of them. Way back then, just to let it out. Like,
I haven't done a colonic, but I got addicted to them. I had to do them like the night before a shoot, and then I wouldn't eat anything.
Aww.
My poor butthole.
Yeah.
It's very intrusive.
Not if you take a deep breath, it's not. I know, it's just a frightening thing. I think about it once in a while. I'm like, probably be really beneficial for me. And then I'm like, no, those days are done. I don't have to do
So, well, you know what's come across my radar
eat
from
out for 2 weeks. Be fine.
what's come across my radar from two different, ironically, men has been coffee enemas.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah,
These
yeah.
dudes swear by them.
I did that route in my 20s. Yeah.
I
My late
might, I,
20s.
I
Yeah.
might have to do it. That
You
might be
know,
my next thing.
nothing really, and I've done a lot of different things. I mean, the colonics really, really, really helped with distension and bloating.
Yeah.
Um, but what I've learned, I think that I've learned is that if you're stressed, nothing's gonna work properly. That's
Correct.
the bottom line. And have you ever
Correct.
seen a blood panel, like actually a live blood panel, live blood cell analysis? You can actually, it's the superest coolest thing because you can see all your little white cells floating around and chewing stuff up and pooping it out. And you can see all, it's really cool. They're like little
Wow.
sea anemones and they're eating all the crap in your blood and then it comes out the back of them. And you can see your red blood cells and how they're well shaped or all little mutants. And it's just an amazing thing. Stress shows up as a form in your blood. It shows up these
Oh, yeah.
black lines. Stress is actually a physical form in your
I
blood.
I always knew my physical ailments, whether it was like the bloating or I had trouble with digestion and elimination, and my menstrual cycles were
Yeah.
non-existent. It had nothing to do. Well, eat more fiber, drink more water. It's for me, it was all energetic. I was
Yeah.
anxiety ridden. I was so not at home, not at ease, that everything just stopped. I
Yes.
had no flow going out. So that affected my menstrual cycle, that affected my bowel movements, that affected everything. And so
Yeah.
I had to force it. I had to force through colonics. I had to,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? I had to force everything because I couldn't just relax.
Yes. And we're searching for that answer, the answer, the answer. And the answer is lie the hell down and listen to a yoga nidra or chill out, read a
Mhm.
book, God,
Mhm.
then etc., etc. Because then you're just kind of guided when you take that time out for yourself. I know you know this. When you take that time out for yourself, when you take time out for yourself, whether it's a cup of tea or painting your toenails or going to a healing center, when you take time out for yourself, everything changes.
Yeah.
When you do that inner child thing where you're like, I'm going to take you because
Mm.
because I love you and I'm going to take you and we're going to do this because I love you. Do you do the
Mhm.
inner child stuff a little bit? Do you play with the little Jen?
I mean, not consciously. Ironically, that you bring it up, though, that is what happened this morning.
Oh.
Is that I remember in my meditation, I remembered myself as a really joyful, open, loving
Aw.
child, little girl.
Aw.
And
Like
and
this?
my aunt, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome.
Her?
I'll have to find a picture to represent her before her before all the shit. But
Well, this is my, you know, and this is where my bad clothing choices come from as well from these days.
yeah,
Yeah, you have to bring out a picture of yourself and have her out and just because this is who we
yeah,
are, right? This is who we are. We're just these
the joy.
little turds that we be mean to for the rest of our lives until we start being nice to ourselves again.
Yeah. And I remember like my aunt, like my nickname was Sunshine.
Oh,
Like I remember, I think, and now I'm like, oh, I'm sunshiny again. I'm little Miss Sunshine again. And I don't care if people don't like it. Because what happens is you find out not everybody responds to that, right?
yeah.
Because of when you're a kid, you don't know that, that it's their own crap, and it gets shut down and the light gets dimmed and the sunshine gets darker and the love gets closed up and blocked off and you protect. And
Mhm.
then it's this process of resurfacing it, not finding it. It was always there in babies. And I had that moment and I was like, oh my God, I'm like 4 again.
Oh,
That was just this morning. Yeah.
that's beautiful. Oh, look at your smile. Wait till you see your smile right now. That's really cool. Yeah, we need to be nicer to ourselves. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Because it's
Well,
you know,
yes, kinder, but some of us could really use a swift kick in the ass. I mean, to be quite honest.
then
I think it depends.
Narcissists need to be nicer to themselves.
Yeah, I mean, nicer, yes, but also radically honest. Like radically honest.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a big deal. Radically honest is a big deal. I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
kind of scary being radically honest with yourself.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You have to be really.
And then that kindness has to be applied to say, okay, if I'm being radically honest with myself, I can play the victim. But that doesn't, and I learned this from someone else, not but, and
Yeah.
that doesn't make me a bad person.
Yeah.
That just means I can still be kind to myself. I'm not perfect. I don't have to be perfect. I'm human.
Exactly.
I am always going to fall short of perfection. That is not my job. That was Jesus's job.
I'm always gonna
Jesus can be perfect.
Yeah.
And I can strive towards that. I can strive. It gives me something to strive for, to be kind and all that kind of stuff. But man, I'm going to fall short and it's okay.
I like that. You know what I've learned in my 50s is that I'm perfectly imperfect.
Yeah.
Or the other way around. I'm playing with that. Is it imperfectly? But no, it's
Perfectly imperfect.
Just the right amount of imperfect to be a really relatable human being.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what we need. We need relatable human beings using their voice in this world.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah. Oh, my neck has to crack. Ugh. Sorry.
Did you just blow your neck out?
Yeah, it has to crack. It's like cranky right now. End of the day.
The end of the day. So, on another note, how's your kitty doing?
She's good. I was hoping she'd make an appearance. She was all like chilled out on my deck. She just wants to be where mommy is all the time. So she was chilled out on my deck. She came pouncing up when I came home. And then she was chilled out on my deck and I had to go to my mailbox for something and she followed me up and she didn't come back down with me.
Oh, the turd.
She's probably up in Mallory's yard. I'm going to have to go like not much after 7 to coerce her in for dinner.
Oh, of course.
But she's probably up there. Just
isn't it the greatest gift in the world to have an animal who doesn't have to like you at all, to just love you and want to be around your vibration?
So healed. I mean,
come on now.
Every morning that I wake up, and she's very different with Zeus. Zeus came and, Zeus went off for his adventures for days and I didn't see him. I don't let her out. I bring her in. She comes in for dinner unless something happened like the other month. But and then I keep her inside. No more. She's not Zeus, right? I'm keeping her inside at night. And then, she wakes me up sometimes at 3 a.m, sometimes at 5, sometimes she lets me sleep. Usually she's on my face, but to wake up, and it puts you immediately in that joy for me. It puts them, because I can always go back to sleep. I can always do a yoga nidra nap.
Yes.
Yeah. But she immediately mush face.
Yeah.
I wake up in joy. I wake up in love. Yeah. And now it's to me if I want to screw that up or if I just want to keep that going for the rest of the day.
Isn't that awesome? I know we get fully tackled by Orchard, who's about, I don't know, he's big. He's like Malamute size now, right? And he's been like that since he was 5 months old. And he comes because he's always slept outside in the rain and the snow, everything, sleeps out on our front porch. We got him a sliding door or a dog door that he can go in and out on our front porch. And he would come in with snow on him and all rain and come running into our bedroom and jump right on top of us from puppyhood. It was just really cute, this big bundle of fur. And now he's just this big bundle of fur. And still, I'm not awake and I'm being tackled. And I'm like, okay, babe, help me. Just, just get him off. And then Mike tries to pull him off. And then he rolls over on his back. And then he just jumps back on me again. And I'm getting stomped on and stepped on. I'm like, okay, that is so rude. It's just so rude. But that's all I'm thinking, because it's so rude and it's so boundaryless, like in dog trainer world, but he is pure joy. He's pure joy. And like you said, you get this choice, like, and I know when I wake up and stomp around about it, I'm like, I am just choosing to be stompy about this right now.
Yeah.
It's like what? Like my dog love me and jump on me? You know, it just look at it through your heart point of view.
Yeah.
Rather than what this looks like or what this could look like or what this,
supposed to look like.
Supposed to look like. Look at it through the heart window, hey? With all of these things that happen in our lives that we have this choice to get all bitchy about or to just be in ease about, right? So
yeah,
gotta let go of the drama. So let's take a deep breath.
Needed that. Thank you.
So where are you going at 7?
Oh, I'm not going anywhere. I just have to get Lakshmi in for dinner.
Oh. Well, that's somewhere.
Yeah.
That's somewhere. All right. So
I got 10 minutes. What else you got?
Well, I generally want to know what you, looking at yourself right now, like the older you would say to yourself right now. That's what
on, girl.
Like
that's
your 80-year-old self being like, so what's she saying to you right now? Your 80-year-old?
My younger self or my 80-year-old self?
Your 80-year-old self saying to you right now.
Well done, lady.
Oh.
Well done. Yeah.
No kidding, hey?
Well done.
No kidding. I encourage you, when you have time, to write yourself a letter from her. I have one that I've had for quite a few years, and and I come across it. It says it's like letter from Senior Michelle. I'm gonna read it to Mady.
I'll do that next week. After this weekend, my bestie's coming in town for the holiday weekend tomorrow night. So
that'd be a fun thing to do, even together.
There'll be no letter writing.
Okay.
There will be imbibing, which is why I'm saving up my alcohol consumption.
Okay, understandable.
There will be some imbibing. There might be some little plants ingested. There might be. Good. It's like my friend I've known since 4th grade.
So what do you guys do? Do you hang out at home or do you go out into the?
Probably, yeah. We'll go into the 7th Ray for dinner Friday night.
Okay.
Which is a special little joint here in the canyon.
Cool.
And other than that, just love on each other. Play our 70s, play our music that we love, dance.
Is she your sister wife? She your soul sister?
Yeah, she's one of them.
Yeah,
that's probably one of the strongest because I've known her since I was, 9 or 10.
That's incredible.
I have other soul sisters, but no one knows you like. I mean, no one remembers the days when you danced around the Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch and like feel the vibrations. Come on. And like we cheered together, we played tennis together. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I'm really excited.
Right? The witness, that person who knows the youth and gets to you get to cheer each other on every once in a while, and just like that 80-year-old self say, well done.
Well done. Yeah. I was talking, I did a podcast. It's out tomorrow, by the way. It's a really good one with Megan Murphy, who wrote a book called Your Fully Charged Life. And I worked with her at Self Magazine. She was the fitness editor when I was doing some work for them. And this woman is this bundle of energy, would show up on the set at 7 a.m., like ready to go, just so positive. And we were talking about, in her book, about celebrating, cheering each other on, celebrating successes. Because so often our friends are there for us like you've been there for me in my dark moments, right? But how fun is it then to like not forget to celebrate the success too, and be like,
Mhm.
I'm so proud of you. You know, we're so there for each other in the hard moments. But to me, the sweeter moments are sharing in someone else's success and like,
100%. Well, it's what we pray for people that we love, right? So
yeah,
we pray for.
yeah,
We pray for them to be happy and joyful
yeah,
and to be having a great experience in life. Oh my God, do we pray for that for them, for the people,
yeah,
right? People we
yeah.
love and the people we don't love even, right? It's
Yeah. But I
beautiful.
find it's easier. We more we more turn towards prayer when someone asks for it because they need help, right? They need support. Like my girlfriend's father is sick right now in the
Okay, yeah,
hospital.
yeah.
I'll pray for you. But we don't often go, I'm just going to pray for you to have a lot of success when nothing's wrong.
That's true. I do that all the time. I'm like a crazy prayer person. My husband once
Great.
said to me, he was like, "Babe, maybe you shouldn't pray so much." And I, oh, I've prayed for you many times.
Bring it on, sister.
Oh
I'll
my
take it.
God.
I've, I can tell
Happened at
you.
hello. So, and then we had the bumps. But even that, I was just like, just praying and praying and praying and praying and praying all the
Yeah.
time because it's all I want for people that I have a connection with
Yeah.
is what they want for themselves, that joy that they're looking for themselves. Right?
Yeah. Well, when you don't have it for yourself, it's hard to want it for others. That's what I
Yes.
found.
Yeah.
It's so much easier when you're like, this is what I want for myself. This is what I deserve for myself. This is what my favorite person deserves for them as well. Or it could be the other way, like we think someone else deserves it, but we don't give it to ourselves.
That's a really, really good point. So that's time for people to turn that around, right?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that I like about these talks is because we're real people having real talks about just whatever shows up.
Yeah.
And it's just so important to just for women also to have these kind of conversations
Yeah.
because we don't always, even when we get together with our besties, we don't always have these kind of conversations like, what are you thinking, what are you feeling, what's going on, what do you see for
Yeah.
yourself, like, like just those
Yeah.
curious questions.
I'm so glad you said that because now I have something else to discuss with my best friend this
Yeah.
weekend. You know, it's easy to reminisce on the past
Yeah.
or ruminate on the past because you have shared history. I'm like, well, that's what I'll bring up with her this weekend. What
Yeah.
does she want for herself? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever asked her that.
Yeah.
Thank you, sister.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah.
This is important. It's important conversation. Well, Jennifer, thank you for you following that call that day when Zeus
Mm-hmm.
first went on his, well, what was run away from the coyote.
Yeah.
His first adventure was. Thank you for allowing me to come into your life. And thank you for everything that you've done for yourself in kindness and love for yourself to allow me to be sitting back here across from you with tears in my eyes and gratitude that I am in your heart and you're in my heart.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you for being patient with me. You know what that means. So,
I was just curious about your happiness, I guess. Like I don't even know because that was then, this is now, right?
yeah.
And this is the best moment. This is the best thing, like getting to, and then one day when you just phoned me up out of the blue and were like, "Hey, I gotta tell you the bad," I was like, life is that's so beautiful. That's so
Yeah.
beautiful. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Oh, the 7 thank yous that Parker taught me when he was passing away is that thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like seriously.
No, seriously. I know when you put the word seriously in front of it, you're like, no, I'm serious. Seriously.
It's like this namaste. When I say namaste, I'm like the real meaning of namaste, not just the word, but like that, like, and I mean that, like, so the real meaning of namaste to you as well. Like, I see you, and thank you for letting me see you And I hope for everybody in the world that is supposed to, in their incarnation, see you and feel you, to be able to get to do that, because you keep moving forward being you without fear and with curiosity, and allowing that yourself to show up for other people to be able to get a little bit of Jennifer. Little
Careful
bit
what
of
you wish
Jennifer.
for.
Da, da, da.
Careful what you wish for.
Oh, you have a really, really, really cool life, and there's nothing that's going to stop you. I can feel that whatever you choose is going, you're going to be a star in. If you're digging in ditches with people and planting flowers and lettuce, or if you're, you know, like the people that are looking down on you, your team,
Go team.
they're,
Go team.
yeah. Okay, well, go hug your kitty and connect with Zeusy energetically for I was gonna say with me. I guess that's what I'm gonna be doing after I get off the call.
Yeah.
Connecting with Zeusy, seeing what he has to say about the whole entire thing. And I'm sure he's incredibly proud of you.
Thanks, Mama.
My pleasure. So how can people find you? Just on that note, how can people find you?
I'm transitioning my website, but my website, jennifergalardi.com.
Okay.
The Instagrams at Jennifer Galardi. The podcast is, you could search my name and it's Connection. It's called Connection.
Perfect.
The YouTubes, just Google.
The YouTubes, the
The
Googles.
YouTubes. I'll send you that, but I will send you that Vimeo link.
Thank you. I appreciate
to
that.
the actual workouts. Yeah.
Cool. I like it when people just send me stuff. So I don't have to do anything. I just get to be down here doing what I do, farting around in the woods with my dogs, and people send me stuff.
That's right.
Like that. Thank you.
How it works.
That's how it works. Okay, love and light. This is the hardest part, is just saying see you. See you.
See you.
Thank you for the smile on my face right now.
Yay.
Beautiful soul.